Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to read a summary of the Friday sermon delivered by the head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community on June 15th, 2007. Hadhrat continued speaking about peace and security and specifically focused on how Quranic financial guidelines promote economic harmony. He warned Muslims against the use of interest and stated that those who use interest are likened to being at war with Allah. Hadhrat said usury and interest can have destructive consequences, driving people to bankruptcy and destroying their family life in the process. Hadhrat said people sometimes take up loans to travel to Britain for the Jalsa Salana, the annual convention, in the assumption that their objective is pious. However, this is wrong. When God has made a trip as important as the Hajj obligatory only upon those who have the financial means, it is pointless to deceive oneself into thinking loans with interest are acceptable for this. If one can save enough money to make the journey, that is fine. Otherwise, it is counterproductive to disobey the command of God to seek His pleasure elsewhere. Hadhrat also cautioned Muslims against taking loans for other non-essential expenses, such as weddings and lavish spending. Islam does not impose unnecessary expenditure upon people. For example, in a Muslim wedding, in other words the nikah, there is no expense. And similarly, in the walima, which is sunnah, it's exempt in the case that one does not have the available funds. Islam allows the eating of the flesh of the swine in extreme cases, chapter 2, verse 174. However, no such exception is made for usury or interest. The promised Messiah, peace be upon him, was once asked about the borrowing of money with interest to get out of a vulnerable situation. He responded that Allah arranges for those who put their trust in Him, and that interest is as much a sin as is adultery or theft. On another occasion, the promised Messiah, peace be upon him, said that some people lend money to others for their own advantage and affix a certain benefit for themselves. He declared that this is tantamount to a form of usury. The Quran is clear on its position of those who equate usury with trade. This is mentioned in chapter 2, verse 276 of the Holy Quran. For those who do have disposable income, Islam promotes investing in business with skilled labor to promote prosperity to all those involved. However, for those who choose to save their money, they are required to pay the zakat to provide for those in need within one's society. Hadhrat stated that the newly introduced Islamic banking in the United Kingdom provides for interest-free loans. Ahmad Salam Saab, the son of Dr. Abdul Salam, has worked hard in this field. Hadhrat encouraged these banks to extend their business and urged Ahmadis of other nations to investigate these solutions. Hadhrat said that after his previous sermon, many wrote to him concerned about their specific financial situations regarding interest. Hadhrat responded that interest is forbidden, but once one takes heed, one should proceed to make amends. However, as far as the mortgage system in Western countries is concerned, it is in line with the allowances made by the promised Messiah, peace be upon him. The previous Khalifas have allowed mortgages on grounds of reasonableness. Hadhrat said, in his opinion, if the mortgage payments are about the same as rent payments, it is reasonable to gain the equity provided for in a mortgage. However, he cautioned that this applies only to a home in which one lives and is not allowed for regular business purposes. Hadhrat invited anyone to provide him academic research in regard to his stance. In promoting a peaceful, secure society, Islam encourages giving leniency and extension to borrowers who experience hardship. This is in chapter 2, verse 281 of the Holy Quran. Hadhrat warned against predatory practices which take advantage of those in vulnerable situations. Hadhrat recounted the hadith in which a true Muslim is one who wants for his brother what he wants for himself. This principle should be our guiding light in these circumstances. Hadhrat read chapter 2, verse 283 of the Holy Quran and advised Muslims to seek benefits from the divine wisdom of this verse. The verse commands Muslims to write down their lending agreements with witnesses present. Hadhrat said this commandment came at a time when writing of text was rare and in its infancy. However, this practice is fundamental to promoting peace and harmony within society. Hazur also read chapter 2, verse 189 of the Holy Quran, which forbids devouring others' wealth and warns against the evil of bribery. Hazur said, "This is the wealth that the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, said was like filling one's belly with fire." Such practices create general discord and discontent within society. Hazur ended his sermon by praying that Allah protect the Ahmadis and make them tread the paths towards His pleasure. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum.